Hello again, and what is hip? And welcome back to another collection video. Today we're going to be conquering my Nintendo Wii U collection. And as you can see here, it's small, but it's mighty. I think I have a decent little selection of titles, at least titles that I'm interested in. And yeah, I'm super excited to show this off to you guys because funny story, not funny story, just a story. I grew up as a Nintendo kid. That was the console I had. I had the GameCube, I had the Wii, 64, all of that. And eventually I kind of spread my wings to the old retro consoles, so like the PlayStation and the Genesis. So that's kind of how I spread outside of Nintendo, but whenever current gen was current gen at the time, it was always Nintendo. I didn't get a non-Nintendo system until the PlayStation 4 in regards to current gen. But the Nintendo Wii U was the very first Nintendo console I skipped out on. I never got a Wii U when it was out. I had the Wii, and when the Wii U came out, I was one of those people who I was interested in it, obviously, because I was very much a Nintendo fan, but I just could not understand what they were doing. I didn't like the idea of the Wii U. But the games that were on it, I was very much interested in, but it was just super expensive, and I had tried it at a friend's house. I thought it was cool, but not cool enough to where I really had to save up all my money and get it at the time, because there wasn't a wide selection of games. There was the first party games, but that was pretty much it for the most part. At least what was being advertised back then. So yeah, I never had a Wii U, not until I think it was the year before the pandemic, back in like 2019. I went to the Portland Retro Gaming Expo. I flew back from college in New York just to go to the expo, and I went there with one thing in mind, and that was the Wii U. I wanted to stock up on everything Wii U. I wanted to get a Wii U, and sure enough I did. 95% of what you see here is what I got on that day. And that was before the Wii U got kind of expensive, before everything started going up in price. I got a complete box deluxe Mario Kart Wii U for like, I think it was 65 bucks, 65, maybe 70 bucks. And that back then, that was actually a pretty good deal for back then, but now, I mean, good luck getting that for under $175-ish, $200. It's crazy how much this system has gone up in price, but I can understand why, because there are definitely some wonderful exclusive titles on the system, even though a lot of them really have been ported. A lot of the ones that are must-haves have been ported, but there are a couple that are still on there. So yeah, let's get into the collection video. Alright, so we're gonna start with this pile right here. Had to do a quick cut there because allergies are just so bad right now. We're gonna start with one of my most wanted games for the Wii U, and that is Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed. This is a fantastic game, and this is the best way to play this game on console. Came out on the PlayStation 3 and the 360, but the way to play it is definitely the Wii U for performance and some gamepad functionality. And yeah, this is just such a fun game. It's one of the only ways to play it on consoles. And the original Sonic Racing I adored, but this one I adore even more. And I think that's the common consensus. It's such a fun arcade racer. It's the only game that I've played racing game that truly rivals Mario Party in regards to its fun factor and its pickup and playness. Definitely not as polished as Mario Kart by any means, but it's such a fun game. It's so cool seeing all of these old Sega stages and Sega's history, and the fact that they incorporate a lot of kind of unknown Sega characters. They're giving them some love, and I adore that. But this is such a great game. I think you can still get it for a decent price. I got this for $10. I don't think you can get it for $10 anymore. But such a great game, and an absolute must-have for the Wii U system. So this here is Mario Tennis Ultra Smash. This is known for being a subpar Mario Tennis game. So this is brand new. I had never opened it. I got it for $8, I think, at the expo. because I thought it would be kind of cool to have a sealed Wii U game, and that's the only reason why I own it. I don't have any plans on opening this. I've heard that the Mario Tennis on the Switch is better, although albeit still not great. So if I were to get in the mood for a tennis game, I'd play that one, or the GameCube one, which I think is the best one. But yeah, Mario Tennis. Oh boy, this was such a surprise. This is Nintendo Land, and I think this was a surprise for a lot of people. When Nintendo was advertising this, it just looked kind of kiddie, it looked gimmicky, and it just did not hold a candle to Wii Sports, at least in the way that they showed it. But this game is so much fun, and one of the main reasons why I pull my Wii U out at parties and stuff like that. I've played this with so many friends, and we have such a good time. The fact that you could see your face from the camera on the Wii U gamepad, whoever has that on the screen, it's hilarious. There's so much fun to be had in this. All the mini games, for the most part, are very strong, but the best one by far is that Toad one, where they're running around and you're Mario and you have to catch, or the Toads have to catch you, or I can't remember, but such a great game, and super cheap too. I got this for 50 cents at GameStop, and yeah, just a wonderful game, and I personally enjoy this as much as Wii Sports in regards to party games. It's just such a well-crafted game, and it definitely gets love, but I think it deserves even more, and I hope they do something kind of similar to this in the future. Wonderful 101. So I'm ashamed to admit that I have not played this game, but I've heard lots of things about it, and I remember when this came out. You know, it's a Platinum Games game, and came out to kind of little fanfare, but the people who played it absolutely adored it. It's a Pikmin-esque style of game, and I adore Pikmin. So this game is definitely right up my alley. But yeah, all I know about it is it's like Pikmin, and it's really, really good. And it's also on the Switch and the PC, I think. But yeah, I have it on the Wii U. Apparently the Wii U one is almost as good. I think, you know, higher resolution on the Switch and whatnot. But I think if I play this game, it will be on the Switch, since I already own it. But yeah, Wonderful 101. Have you played this? Let me know in the comments below. Is this one that I should put towards the top of my list? Maybe. This is an interesting one. So this is Rodea the Sky Soldier. And this is brand new, but as you can see, the wrapping that they used on it is falling apart, which kind of sucks. So maybe I'll actually end up opening it. I don't know. But Rodea the Sky Soldier is an interesting game because this is a game that was, I think, created by, or it was influenced, or it was made by some people who worked on Nights into Dreams. I think. I could be wrong about that. But it started out as a Wii game, and the Wii game is very, very good. But somewhere along the lines, they were just like, you have to port it to the Wii, or you have to move it to the Wii U, because it's more powerful. And it was at the very, very end of the Wii lifespan, and that's what they did. But the Wii U one was really rushed, and supposedly they're just not good. But the Wii game is supposedly a very strong game. So what they did was they put it out on the Wii U, but the original Wii game is on the inside, because the developer and the creator of the Rodea the Sky Soldier on the Wii said that this is the game that he wanted people to play. So they included it. And since the Wii U is backwards compatible, well, it kind of works out perfectly there. I have no idea how much this game goes for. I very rarely see this talked about, but I've heard that it genuinely is a very good game, at least on the Nintendo Wii. So if you see this anywhere, definitely pick it up, because I do have a feeling this is going to become kind of uncommon one day, if it isn't already. But I think I might crack the seal on this and play it myself as well, since, I mean, it's already coming off. But yeah, Rodea and the Sky Soldier. Tokyo Mirage Sessions FE, or Festival, or Fire Emblem. I actually don't know what the FE stands for. Yeah, this is an RPG by none other than Nintendo and Atlus, and it is a combining of the Shin Megami Tensei series and Fire Emblem. Just such a weird and interesting collaboration. I haven't played much of this. I only played maybe about an hour, but I was in the midst of a whole bunch of RPGs, but I just wanted to try it out. And this is a beautiful looking game. It's so colorful, the music's super catchy, and it's just a lot of fun. I've been told that this is very much Persona Light, so it's Persona-esque in style, but just maybe a slightly more accessible version of Persona. And there's relationships things, there's day and night cycles, but you don't have time limits necessarily, and apparently the story isn't anything to write home about, but this is one that I would like to maybe try eventually. The audience for this game is kind of polarizing. I've heard just polar opposites from people. That there's some people who absolutely adore this game, and there's a lot of people who are just like, it's okay, it's whatever. So I'm very curious to see where I will lie in this. Another game I have not played. This is Kirby and the Rainbow Curse, and I got this one from GameStop when GameStop was getting rid of all their Wii U stuff. And this is a kind of a sequel. I think it's a sequel, or at the very least it's a spiritual successor of sorts to Kirby and the Canvas Curse on the Nintendo DS. And that's where Kirby is this little ball, and you have to control him by drawing little paths with the stylus. Same thing on the Wii U one, except the difference here is the graphics are stunning. Absolutely stunning. It's this claymation sort of thing. And this is one that I don't think is ever going to get ported to the Switch or any other system. I think this one's locked on the Wii U. But apparently this is a really solid little game. It's, not your traditional Kirby by any means, but this is one that I do want to play, and this one is higher on my list of games to try out. But have you played Kirby and the Rainbow Curse? Let me know. And here is the game that everybody is wanting ported, and I don't know if it ever will. That's Xenoblade Chronicles X. Right now, this is one of the main reasons to buy a Wii U. This is such a humongous game. This is the second game in the Xenoblade series, and I think I got this from my local Fred Meyer. This was after the Wii U was discontinued, so this was on clearance for like $10 or something. I've played about 10 hours, and it's just so big. I haven't even scratched the surface. And so this is what I'm gonna have to come back to. But the world is huge, absolutely huge. Everything is huge. I really love the art style in this game. I think it's it almost reminds me a little bit of the Shin Megami Tensei art style. A mixture of that and the original Xenoblade Chronicles on the Nintendo Wii. After this, I don't really like the way they went with Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and 3 in regards to art style. But yeah, you can get into like giant mechs in this and fly around. It's super cool. It's really, really cool. And a lot of people swear by this game. So this is one that I really want to get back to. But apparently the loading times are horrendous, but Nintendo had a thing where you can download part of the game from the eShop onto the Wii U to like quicken up load times. But luckily I did that before the eShop closure, because now you can't do it anymore. So apparently the load times are pretty brutal. But if you manage to do that little download thing of part of the game, then supposedly it's a lot more tolerable. But yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles X. Pikmin 3. Now this is the game that made me want a Wii U more than anything else back in the day, because I adored Pikmin 1 and Pikmin 2, and when I saw Pikmin 3, it made me want a Wii U. This was a system seller for me, and then of course it didn't actually sell the system. Yeah, I got this many years later. Obviously, I think I paid $20 for this brand new. It was a Nintendo Selects, and this game is very good. I don't like it anywhere near as much as the first two Pikmin. It's a little too easy for me, and I'm personally not the biggest fan of having 3 characters that you have to switch between all the time. 2 was enough for me personally, but maybe that's just because my brain can't wrap around so many different people. But it is a very good game nonetheless. I'm actually currently playing this right now. The graphics are beautiful and the music is wonderful, and it's Pikmin. It's strategic gameplay at some of its finest, and done in a way that really only Nintendo can. But it's such a wonderful game. It's on the Switch as well. That's where I'm playing it currently, because they have some extra side missions and stuff that you can't get in this game, which was enough for me to prefer to play that one over this one. But apparently playing with the gamepad is actually the preferred gameplay style. But yeah, Pikmin 3. I adore the Pikmin series. I think this is the weakest of the bunch personally. But now Pikmin 4 is coming out, and that one looks better than this one, but still not as good as the first 2, because now you got 4 people to control, I think? I don't know. But I love Pikmin, and I love Pikmin 3. The NES Remix Pack. This is such a cool idea, and this is something Nintendo absolutely needs to get back to. Or maybe something they can include in like the Nintendo Switch Online. Basically what this is a compilation of 2 games, NES Remix 1 and NES Remix 2. I don't know if both of them came out on the 3DS, one of them definitely did. And it's just a compilation of old NES games, and I think maybe some Super Nintendo games possibly, and they make little games, little mini games inside those games. Like you'll be on the first stage of Mario and you have to collect 10 coins within the time limit or something kind of like that. And you get a bunch of awards and achievements, and the things they do with the graphics are actually kind of cool. It's such a cool idea, and it is executed perfectly. And this is the only way you can play it. That and on the 3DS. But this is the only way to play both of them in one package. So this is an absolute must-buy. I think it's pretty cheap as well. But yes, NES Remix Pack. Pick this up, please. This is a game I really want to play, but I have not yet, and that's Star Fox Zero. And the reason I haven't played this is because it's still sealed. I got this off Amazon. This was before I even had a Wii U. And it was when Amazon was just liquidating everything Wii U, so I got this for $10. And it comes with Star Fox Zero and Star Fox Guard, which is like a mini-game security camera kind of thing. It looks kind of stupid. But yeah, apparently not a lot of people like Star Fox Zero, and that's mainly because of the controls, because you use the gamepad and you kind of zoom around like that. But I really do want to play this, so I do intend getting just a loose copy of Star Fox Zero at some point. That's already open, but the graphics look really cool, and the gameplay from what I've seen looks really fun. But I don't know, I haven't played it myself. But yeah, Star Fox Zero. Have you played this? Alright, the last pile here. Super Mario 3D World. I played this for the first time on the Nintendo Switch, and that's where I'm currently playing it, and that is definitely the preferred way to play, because they did a lot of quality of life changes by making your character faster, changing the way your character moves a little bit, then adding the whole extra game Bowser's Fury into there. But this is where it started, and I went into Super Mario 3D World expecting it to be like Super Mario 3D Land on the 3DS. I was not hyped. But oh my gosh, was I wrong. I adore Super Mario 3D World. It is so full of creativity. The music, the live jazz band is fantastic. There's so much content in this game, and the amount of imagination is overpouring. It is such a great game, and you can get this for super cheap on the Wii U, because the Switch is definitely the version to play. But if you want to save a couple bucks, get the Wii U one. I think I paid $7 for this. So yeah, Super Mario 3D World, great game, and I can't wait for another 3D World type game. This is what some would call a hidden gem of sorts, and this is Tank Tank Tank. And what Tank 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 is it is an arcade game that I think is only in Japan. I could be wrong. They could have ported it or translated it to English or whatever. But this is an arcade game where you go around these little tanks and you're destroying these big mecha monsters. And it uses the Wii U pad perfectly. It's such a fun arcade game. And this one is pretty uncommon and it's getting up there in price. I got this from GameStop for like $9. But this is a really fun game, a fun game to play multiplayer, and it's just fun. It's not the prettiest game out there. There's not a whole lot of content in this game, but what is there is so incredibly strong, and I love it. Such a fun party game, and a big recommendation from me. Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, yet another game that's been ported to the Nintendo Switch. I have not played Tropical Freeze. That is because I have not finished the original Donkey Kong Country Returns. But I've heard that this is also a very good game, and in some ways preferred to the Nintendo Switch version because they added some kind of easy things in the Nintendo Switch version, some handicapped kind of things. So like you could, if you keep dying, Funky Kong will come in and help you kind of thing. But yeah, this is the original, and definitely the harder of the two, from what I have heard. But yeah, Donkey Kong Country Returns, Tropical Freeze. Or not Returns, just Tropical Freeze. But this is a game that I am excited to play, and it's a beautiful looking game too. What a surprise this was. This is Paper Mario Color Splash. Now, Paper Mario Color Splash was a surprise and not a surprise. It's nowhere near as good, in my opinion, as the first 3 Paper Mario games. However, there is so much charm to this game that it makes it hard to not like. Because I definitely don't like the way that they've gone with Paper Mario. I don't like the stages. I don't like the little cards and stickers. Just ugh. I don't like that. However, I played the new Origami King, and they kind of returned to the open world format with that. But that game I hated. I did not like Origami King at all, and I found myself missing Color Splash because the writing in Color Splash is so good. In fact, I would say it's some of the most funny writing in all of the Paper Mario series. It's such a funny game, and it's a beautiful game too. It's definitely vanilla in terms of its character designs and story and all of that, but the writing is just so good, and the stages are actually a lot of fun as well. So it's a very good game in its own right, and one that I recommend you pick up if you see it for a good price, because this is not getting ported. Zombie U, a launch title for Wii U, and this is, I can't play scary games. I can't play games that have jump scares or anything like that. I can't do it. I'm total wuss, and I just can't do it. However, I have had my friends play this, and I've watched them, and it's been a blast every time. Such a cheap game, but it's definitely not the best looking game, and it's a little janky. However, it is a lot of fun, and the whole concept of when you die, you lose all your stuff, and your character turns into a zombie, and you have to kill that person to get your stuff back. That's a really cool concept. It's a fun, kind of mindless game. By no means is it the best game of all time, but it's a fun, cheap game, and if you can get it for cheap, I highly recommend it. And I think this is the best way to play it too, because it's on the PC as well. But the gamepad functionality really adds a bunch to the experience, in my opinion. So this is an interesting one, and this is Zombie U again. This is my rarest Wii U game. And that's because this is a weird special edition that I don't know if it's actually licensed by Nintendo, but this was put out by Bonus Box Games, and it's limited to 1,000. And what they did was they had the Zombie U game, and then they had Rob Sachetto, make a art print of it, and he signed it and he put it in here, and it's like this little collector's edition. I first heard about this through Double Jump video games, through Cooper, and yeah, I had to pick it up. I don't think you can buy these anymore. I think they sold these at conventions and stuff like that. So I actually still don't know a whole lot about this, don't know if it's officially licensed, but nonetheless I think it's a very cool item, and it's the Wii U is already such a niche system that adding something that's this unique is kind of hard to do with the Wii U, since everything is kind of unique with the Wii U and getting harder to find. So a cool talking point at the very least. And this is from the same company, and this is Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge. And this is a little special edition kind of thing, and again, I don't know if it's officially licensed or not, but it's by Bonus Box Games, and it comes with a shuriken magnet on the inside. And this was sold at conventions, but again, I don't know if this is officially licensed or not. It's something I'm gonna have to do some more research on. But again, just a very cool, unique thing to have in my collection, and yeah, not too often do I come across sealed Wii U games as well. I haven't played Razor's Edge. I don't know if it's any good. I haven't played any of the series, but yeah, Razor's Edge 3. Okay, I had to do a cut because I completely forgot about 3 of probably the best, most important games on the system. So I have my little Zelda collection here on the Wii U, and I'm going to start first with none other than Twilight Princess. And this is just a loose game I got from GameStop because it was super cheap, and at the time Twilight Princess HD was going way up in price, and sure enough it's gone up even more, but I wanted to play the game, and this was a cheap way to do it. And Twilight Princess is my favorite Zelda game of all time. I adore that game. It was the first Zelda game that I beat, and it's just, I have so many memories with that game. But this is what I had for the longest time, and one day my ex-girlfriend, she got me one of the coolest gifts I've ever gotten, and she surprised me with the Twilight Princess HD kind of collector's edition with the Wolf Link amiibo, and brand new. This is brand new and sealed, and this was like a holy grail of mine for the Wii U. Something I've always wanted, but something I could never justify paying the price. And she surprised me with it one Christmas, or for my birthday, and it just, that was the coolest and the sweetest thing. And yeah, this is the crown jewel of my Wii U collection. I think it looks so cool with a little holographic little cover, and just so happy to have this in my collection, and so appreciative of the thought and the mentality behind that gift. It really meant a lot, and yeah, this is so cool, so cool. And way too expensive. And last but not least is Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker HD. And this is one of those games I got at the expo. I think I paid $20 for this. And this is the definitive way to play Twilight Princess, or Wind Waker. And I've played some of this, but the person who played this the most was my ex. That's her favorite game of all time, one of her favorite games of all time. And I would watch her play through this, and the game looks phenomenal. It really does. It looks absolutely beautiful. And Nintendo was insane for not porting these two games to the Switch, because they would sell millions. But Wind Waker is not my favorite game in the series. I do like the game, but I don't love it. But it's still a very, very good game, and one that I need to get through. I have not beaten it yet, but I do plan on doing that, and it will be Wind Waker HD. Okay, so there you have it. That is my small but mighty Wii U collection, in my opinion. I was very lucky to get into Wii U collecting when I did, when they were getting rid of all the Wii U stuff, and when there wasn't as much of an interest in the console. So I managed to get all this for really very cheap. But now Wii U collecting, like the Saturn, is kind of starting to get out of hand, and I think it's only going to get worse. I want Game & Wario for the Wii U very badly. That's the next crown jewel, but it's over $100 now. I remember when that game was like 20 and people were just throwing it off the shelves. So it's getting crazy out of hand, but I mean, it was not a successful system, so I see it getting worse from here on out. But do you guys like the Wii U? I like the Wii U. I think it's a great system. It's not my favorite system by any means, but it's a fun system with some really solid titles. But do you guys like collecting for the Wii U? Are you collecting for the Wii U? What do you like about the Wii U? Let me know in the comments below. But thank you guys so much for watching and sticking through this video. Have a good one.